And I think we're live. Yes, we are live. Thank you
Okay.
so much. And thank you everyone for your patience. Yeah, and I am sidetracked on what I need to do. I forgot it was Wednesday.
I know. We keep trying, but
It
you're
happens. So,
busy bonding with your babes.
yeah,
That's
the
all
babies.
right.
And
Okay.
but at any rate, we're here tonight with Miss Lydia. Yay.
Hi,
And
everyone.
yeah, and you're going to show us
Yeah, we're gonna do
this
Itsy
link.
because here we
There he
go.
is.
There he is. I we mentioned him when back in Easter when he was bobbing in the beans, and I forgot until just the last minute, and then I just needed to share. I couldn't wait for him a
For
whole
another
year.
year.
No. So,
Absolutely not. He's just too darn cute with all those candy corns, which I love. I've already had a bag of that
you
this
actually eat
season.
them. I didn't
Uh,
know anybody actually ate them.
oh,
I
well,
thought they were cute.
actually, I eat the pumpkins because they're chewier,
Oh, yes,
they're
there's
creamier,
pumpkins.
and
Yes.
they last a little longer. But yeah, they're all gone. I had my one bag for the season for the years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they don't have Halloween peeps?
Oh, I've already gone through those. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't realize.
we had ghost and
Ghosties, that would be good.
pumpkins and Frankensteins. And so
Green bin,
yeah,
green things. Okay.
green Frankenstein heads, yeah. So there's a restaurant that we go to on the weekend, a breakfast diner. And
Yeah.
so the woman there, when she sees me come in, she's so excited. She goes over and she makes me a hot cocoa and with whipped cream, and then she puts sprinkles and a peep on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they didn't have any Halloween peeps. I'm like, how can you not have Halloween peeps? They're out there. Well, they're hard to find, but I found some and I brought them in and I handed them to her and I said, "Here's my peeps."
Yeah, there you go. Pop one in there, and these are for only deserving people.
Right. I told her she could share, but I think she's saving them for me. But it's okay because I enjoyed them a lot. But at any rate, so without further ado, thank you for joining us. If you are here with us tonight to do this along with Lydia or just to watch and do it later, just let us know where you're from. And if you're penciling with her, it's penciling tonight.
Yeah.
If you're not, if you're just watching, please do that as well. You can always purchase any of her Critter Square pattern packets on her website under lydiasteeves.com under Critter Squares. They're all there. The replays of most of those are currently in the AW library for a small nominal fee. So to help me keep the storage Vimeo
Right, right.
going. And but if you hold on, I'm
Yeah,
slowly
you bring
putting
them up.
them like a handful at a time onto YouTube so you can go watch it on YouTube for free. So it's artfully connected. So youtube.com/artfully connected, I believe. I'll find it and put the link in the
Good plan.
yeah. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so in the meantime, I will let Lydia take over while I go and make sure that everybody knows we are here and where it is
Okay.
we are.
Sounds
How's that
good.
sound? Okay.
Sounds great. All
I
right.
am going to pin you because I cannot there has to be a third device but anyways, I'll take
Gotcha.
care of that in a bit.
I
Okay.
understand. Yes, I
Take it
can.
away.
All right, take it away. Okay, so here we go. Oops. Okay, so yes, little Itsy, we had to do him because he's just seasonal and the whole nine yards. I did this little girl, Rosie, and we still will do her in on a Friday, October 24th. And so this will be fun to do too. It's just not quite as seasonal as Itsy. And so you can do Itsy now and do several of them and give them away to people that you love. All right, so in the packet, I have already got the most of the base coating done, and we're going to start off with the fur on little Itsy. So that's going to be the light umber. And all we're doing with that is just a fairly light touch, but you're going to color in with space between your strokes. Just put in some of this brown. Here we go. Just color in. Now keeping, not this bottom part. That's going to be white. This is going to be white, 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 white. So we'll have to try to remember not to color that in brown. There we go. Okay, his little arms. So if you did Itsy Bobbin and Beans, it's obviously going to be a bit similar. Sometimes I just change up the colors just because they go better with other things that we're doing. And let's get that white in now too. Just this white part, except you know what? I did change that, and that's going to be ginger root because he's kind of in the twilight and it's in shadow anyway. So I thought, well, we'll start off with ginger root instead of white, even though this is his white fur. There we go. So we'll just color in his little cheeky parts. And then his chest. And of course, his little belly. He seems to be like he was on a diet this summer, maybe. He doesn't seem to be quite as chunky as he is sometimes. Okay, so with this, you are coloring maybe a little bit more firmly and not leaving space between your strokes. There's not a lot to the white fur, so we don't really have to leave space. Okay, and then let's sharpen up our pencil. And we will use that sharp pencil and we will edge the ears. So just outside of the transfer line. You can go a little bit on it, but doesn't cover that well. So just outside the transfer line is where we need to be. And then we'll start to line his actual fur here. So we've got some brown on there. And now you can see that I am leaving space. Leave your space there. Make sure that you get a little bit of fluffiness in front of the eye. Come down, create the cheek. Okay, same thing on this side. Try not to lose his shape. We'll keep that. Make a nice cheek on this side too. Okay, and then you can come up his head. And this is going to be dark on his head up here. But we'll put some of this in just to create the top of his head, but we won't put any on the ears like this because that'll be darker as well. Okay, and we'll come around and create his arms, his little elbows here. His hip. So I'm just, he is fluffy or fuzzy, so go just past those transfer lines there too and make sure that he actually is fuzzy. And keep rotating your pencil so that you don't really have to sharpen, because it's definitely getting dull here and I'm pushing it. I want to make it still behave. Right. I think we've got that. I can still see his arms here. So there's some little spaces here that I've left so that I can tell. Look at that. That's very straight there. So I'm going to just pull it out a little bit. Get a bit more of a curved elbow thing there. All right. Dioxazine purple. We are going to shade this little witch's hat on the right. I guess on the bottom of the brim, but still mostly to the right. Just in there. And then we will start on those candy corns. We'll have to have sharp pencils for this because we've got some little sections. And we're going to start off with Parma Violet as the shade. So, and just a little bit, okay? That's only a very, very small shape. Don't make it loaded up with purple. A very light, almost nothing shadow. I would say I did bottoms for the most part. Yeah, this one's a little confusing. Who's on top? So this guy's supposed to be on top here. Okay, a little bit in there, a little bit on this one, maybe to the right on that one. And then the orange sections will be using poppy red. And you can kind of see there's a lot of layers on the orange parts. So we've got, I would say, mostly on the right side is the bigger side of shadow, and bottom again. So keep that in mind as you go along. And this is just the beginning. So make it fairly large. Okay, so a linear stroke, yes, but not a furry stroke. Okay, so I start at the edge and work inwards. And you will lighten your pressure as you work your way in. But don't be afraid of covering just about the whole thing. Poppy red's very orangey, so don't think you'll have a problem, in that section. And then we're going to do this pumpkin bucket too. So I didn't make, lines or anything like that. I just went with a round orange bucket. It's just a little pretty square, so. Okay, so I'm doing circles on this. And again, I'm starting at the outer edge here. And then as I come inwards, I lighten up the pressure and fade it off. And same at the bottom. Now this shade is going to go a little further. I would say that I'm starting to fade about where this black handle is, but you don't want to stop in a straight line. You want to curve up that back. Okay. And then let's just make sure that we know where this rim is going to be. Okay, so I've just marked it. It's a bit of a mess right in here. We'll be able to get that sorted out as we go along with the lights. All right, back to the candies. Yellowed orange. So same idea. Start from the edges, more in the bottom. It's not a very dramatic color, but you'll just do it. Okay, I did quite a bit. Again. So we've got our candies done. Let's shade in here now too, and that's with that Diops purple. And it's the same kind of a stroke as what we did on the outside. Start where you know you want it darkest. And lightly make those circles and the, squished oval circles. And you'll just come upwards. A little bit here on the right. Okay, all behind this candy. And technically we're trying to make this maybe just a bit lighter in here. It's a shadowed inside, but we want to have it darker at the bottom. And as you come up, fade, 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 fade. Okay. We've got a little bit to do in the ears still on Itsy. And then we're done with photo 1. So you'll take your light umber and again, back to those circles and a light touch. Fading. So better to do 2 or 3 coats in these areas where you want it a little bit darker and then fade it. It's mostly on the outer edge. Okay, so just like super light touch, but you go back 2 or 3 times. And we're going to highlight a bit of white, right? Right in this middle bottom. More circles. And we'll have we'll have a couple of colors on that. So we're just preparing the surface with this white. Okay, so you can see how light a touch I'm actually doing because I'm going over and over and over this area and it's really not getting super white super fast. So ease into it. There we go. Put a little bit more on this side. There. Okay. Oh, and while we're here, let's find the bottom of that nose with this white. And we will line his little fingers. Anything else? No. Wait. One more step before we move on. Cool gray 70. We will shade the chest and the belly and goes on either side of your candies. Just under the nose and then on the belly here. There we go. Okay, that's photo 1. Now photo 2. We've got our water brush filled up with the OMS. Squeeze it. There we go. And we're going to put it on everything. You don't have to be too careful with it. Doesn't seem to get contaminated or anything like that. I put a little bit on the spider here. Okay, so it's not really very dramatic, other than when you get to the purple, you can see a little bit more. But we are going to use our nose scrubbers. Make sure they're clean. I had to clean mine off. Oh, these are both zeros. I wanted the 00 as well. There it is. So to clean them, I just put some of that OMS on a paper towel and shop cloth and just wipe it. There. So the pumpkin bucket we will rub inside. Okay, wipe that. And outside. Mhm. And then we'll just take our little one and rub inside the ears. Don't really have to rub too much of anything else. The belly's going to have lots of white on it, so it doesn't really matter too much. These guys are a little bit small, and this is a lot of burnishing anyways, so we don't really have to. We might later on. We'll see as we go along. we are going to continue on with the corn and bucket. And you're going to take your yellowed orange again. And this time, we're still going to go up and down, but we are going to go in the middle where we want the light and work our way to the edges. And you can come quite far. You still want to be able to fade at the edge so you can still see that I put that poppy red in there. And remember, we were trying to make the right side a bit wider. So that means when you start here, the light is going to be slightly to the left of center. And when you do the ones laying down, we're going to try to do slightly above the center line, as this is going to be a highlight right up in here. Don't want it down the middle to be a little off. Okay, so, and you can see how I'm picking up little bits of debris. Just wipe your pencil as you need to. And you can, it doesn't have to be super duper smooth. You can have some striations. The pictures that I found, some of them actually do have, I guess, some texture. Some were flat, but some did little ditches or texture. Okay, so they're coming along here. We're building it up. And we need to highlight our pumpkin bucket. So we're back to those little circles. Start where you know you want it. Move into your poppy. Fade it. Come back here and then come around. And if you've still got a decent point, you can come and highlight this edge. White. We're going to highlight the yellow sections. So even though they're made up of 3 different colors, you still have to have the highlight is going to be running through all of them. So while we're here, we are going to color those white sections in again. And highlight the yellow. And so there might be a little hint of purple still showing through, and that's good. And I think we said that this guy was behind. So we're going to try to leave a bit more purple on the bottom edge of that one as a shade. Okay, one more. I'm just trying to remember which side we're actually going to have that highlight. Great, now, so we've got the highlights in, but well, you know, we need to have it just a little bit more on this orangey part. So I'm not pressing quite as hard, but you just want to make sure that you've connected those. Well, I guess it's a little bit like the pencils when we did Itsy Goes Back to School. You want to have that highlight. It's a narrow one, but it's soft. It's not just a line. And keep wiping your pencil because it's digging up pigment. There we go. Now we're starting to get the shine. And then we're just going to pump this up too. So let's put some white right in here too. And maybe not as far, but it needs a little help, so we have to do it with white. And then we can also put the white. Doesn't have to be around the whole edge. But again, that's where the highlight's coming in there. All right, wipe that off, wipe all that orangey off, and let's do a highlight on this hat. So find your point. One more thing on the pumpkin bucket. We want this in here to be orangier. It's a highlight, backlit. So this is a good project to practice this highlighting stuff, this circles and lines and things like that, and how to fade things. So I've had the purple coming up and under, and then the orange goes back and over, because quite often we leave it just as orange and that's purple and they don't meet. But this middle area here is really super important. And you really need to be able to get that fade thing happening to get that realism, that making the form 3D, etc. So we are going to go and whiten up his chest. So, you know, even though we started off with ginger root this time, we do want it to be whitish. And you're going to go in and right over top of your gray that you put in there. I'm not pressing super hard. And where the chest meets the shoulder, we want to have a nice joining in there. So start thinking about that. And we will have a bit of white. the whole cheek's not white, but the bottom edges are. It's all about pressure. Okay, and then we will whiten up his belly. Okay, it's a little bit rough still, but we've got a second layer. And you just need to decide where the actual arms are. So right in here, do I want to make this a little bit bigger, or is that all arm? I think it's all arm. Okay, we'll just go with that for now. Okay, we've done the hat already. And now we are going to add some darks to Itsy. So espresso. Here we go, espresso. And it should be pretty sharp because we are going to be putting in lines. So we've got the brown in there, the light umber, and we've got the ginger root. And now we're putting in some espresso. So you see where the dark is? It's around the edges. So there could be a little bit of shoulder back here as well as arm. Same thing on the side, dark there, dark there. We'll darken the ears and we'll work our way inwards. So definitely dark on the edges, but again, bring a few in on his arms. Let's just turn this upside down and we will make a very nice little hairdo. And we will darken his ears. He's coming together. And so now we have to decide what to do on his face. We definitely want dark to set in his eyes. And say behind the cheeks. Usually they're dark from the nose upwards. Bring a little bit down into the pink part. Don't just leave it like a clown nose. And then a little bit on either side. Okay, maybe a few more down here. All right. That's the end of photo 2. And for some reason, I decided to do a photo 3 and then the final. I guess I was just getting carried away. Now, we need to shade more on the pumpkin bucket. And let's do it with Tuscan red. And we need to shade the candy corn too. And we're going to use that Tuscan red there too. So a little bit. So now we're on what? How many layers is this? Who knows? But what you want to do here as you're adding more and more layers is you need to adjust your touch again. And I am going into the yellow a little, just a bit. It just gets a little bit of continuity. If you just do white and orange and the yellow separately, it looks like that at the end. So don't do too much because we have another color, of course, coming there. But like for instance, down here, maybe just drift into your yellow. Not much on the white. Can't do much on the white. Super light touch. It's a much more intense color. The poppy red barely showed. This one will if you press too hard. And so it's mostly on the orange, occasionally drifting down into the yellow. Oh, and let's go on the inside of this bucket here too. Over top of that purple. Purple's nice, but we don't want it to remain just flaming purple. We'd like to have a little something more, like, orangier. Remember, we've got that as a light part. There we go. That's pretty good. Do some down at the bottom. Well, we're going to put a little bit of purple in there too, I guess. Purple's nice for a shadow color. Okay, so I just put a little bit there too. And then you just have to decide to how much shade do you actually want. We can decide. And so let's put some purple under these candy corns. And then you'll go sideways, horizontal. Just to ground them a little bit. plus underneath your pumpkin bucket. Okay, so it's going to be darker in the middle here, you know, a little bit faded off to the right, maybe a little something, something back here. Yeah. Okay, so now they should look like they're sitting on the ground. Let's put some OMS on. And just rub it. And you can see it intensifying. Just be careful when you get close to your candies. And then, so what I did here was I just took that peacock blue, which kind of matches the turquoise shade in, you know, and so it depends on how much turquoise you've got down here. And I just thought, well, let's try to tie things together. And you can go into the purple and then a little further out. You don't have to color all the way down to the very bottom. And you can come back afterwards too and maybe add more of your pastel. If you were a little bit hesitant with it the first time, you can come back. I actually came back on this one and added more orange in here and here. So sometimes going back is a pretty good idea, actually. Okay, so I think we've got that looking good. And let's maybe rub our pumpkin too. So I wiped my brush and now I'm just rubbing the highlight. That's looking pretty good. I might go back and, you know, repeat a few layers. That's always fun to do. Now let's keep looking at this candy corn. What do we need to do to finish that up? So I'm thinking on the yellow guys, we've got yellowed orange, and then we've also got canary yellow. So let's just have a look. Do we want to do yellowed orange? Is that the color? Or do we want to just jump straight to canary yellow? I think you can jump straight to, depending on how you've done it. Because we have this nice little shadow here anyway, so you could maybe just do canary yellow. If you think you need the yellowed orange again, you can, because we're going to use the yellowed orange. And so for instance, here maybe, maybe just in there because it's in the shadows. And we can bring the white back too, of course. But let's keep with the yellowed orange. We could go back, especially if you got a little carried away with the Tuscan. It's like I'm burnishing the whole of the segment, actually. Right over top of your Tuscan and everything. Because I think they're, again, depending on the picture you decided to use, sometimes these were very pale and then sometimes they were quite intense. So whatever ones you've got, those are the ones. Yeah. Okay, just gonna go on there. And remember, just gently, gently, gently wipe those. Do you think you need more poppy red? I don't actually think I need too much more, but you can repeat whatever you like, depending on, again, like the look you want. So you could put poppy red in there. You could put orange back on if you would like. I'm just going to sharpen my white. I don't think I need any more shade. Do you need to put another white on, another layer of white on your white sections? You want them to be pretty solid. So right here, I'm looking to see. Now that's going to be shaded because it's in this little mouth. And then go with that shine one more time. If you can't get this last shine with your pencil, you could paint it on if you like. You could try that Neo color that we've done. Like you sharpen it and then you could use that maybe. You could scratch off some of the waxy buildup and then go with your white. Lots of different ways you can get it. And then if you need another highlight on your whites, I wouldn't go to the dark purple. You could go with the Parma violet, like for instance, right here, where you've got this guy behind that. I wouldn't get carried away with the shade. You could also use peacock, just because, we're using peacock. All right, don't get, like I say, don't get carried away on the white parts. And if you can put it on super lightly, you can get away with more, of course, right? You want them to be white. I think you do anyways. And like I say, you can repeat your colors on your pumpkin as many times as you want, just to kind of get a nice smooth round with deep shade in here, shade to create the form, and a highlight. So you can work on that as well. And then back to Itsy. Let's put the OMS on again. And we'll take our small one and we'll gently rub. Okay, gently rub. So we're not over rubbing everything. We're softening our strokes of the dark, especially. Okay. Wipe your brush, and then we can also rub the white fur. Soften where the white meets the brown here. Don't have it an abrupt change. And I usually like to have a little right here at the shoulders, a little joining. Back to ginger root. And we're just going to repeat. So this is about the fourth layer here. So you're picking and choosing, and you're laying down your lines as you're thinking about them all now, right? The first, you saw the way we put on the brown, just like put it on it. Then we did the ginger root and didn't worry too much. Now we're picking and choosing, building up on what we've got already. Okay, well, this side definitely is my weaker side, so I'm gonna have to work a little bit harder on this side. And these ears need a little something. They can't just be dark brown without any texture. So let's put a few lines of Harry's. I'm going to sharpen. I think this is coming out maybe a bit far. I have to come back. Let's see. Get my espresso and just give it a trim here. go with that for a bit. So where was I? We'll just leave that and let's put some color. A little tint in his ears, and that's the yellowed orange. Right, so we've got a little yellowed orange, and we're going to go with the purple over top of the brown that we put in there way back when. It's a tint. So we're just trying to get a harmonious color scheme going here. If you think you'd like a little bit darker hat, put a little black in. On the right, I mean, I could do this blacker as well. You can go over some of your black depending on how you put it on in the first place. And now it's just sort of giving him a bit more spruce and polish. So let's look at some finishing steps. We can use that yellowed orange on the left. This is the pumpkin light. And that will help me make this a little bit nicer here. So again, it's a tint. But it's a little more than what we put in on the ears. And it is a nice color. It works very well with the brown. Yeah, it's just so that he's, again, he's in the pumpkin light. Maybe he's got a whole set of jack-o'-lanterns just outside of the picture. So when you do something like this, you don't just, do half orange and then we'll do the other half maybe with some purple or something. So bring a little bit on this side too, even though that's the side that we're trying to make orangey. Do we need more espresso? The answer is probably yes. So I am looking to see how I've set the eyes in. And breaking up some of the solid areas. Just cleaning them up a bit. I'm taking my ginger root and finding the edge of that ear again. I'll do it on this side too. And we said that we were going to make the top of his head dark. I think that's probably dark enough. Do we want more on the outer edge? Usually you do things a couple of times. Very rarely do you get everything exactly the way you want it on the first. To make layers. And if you need to smooth anything at this particular stage, I wouldn't use the moon scrubbers anymore. They're a little too broad. And so what I'm doing here is I'm taking the light umber, which was the first color we put on. And that helps smooth, it helps bring the brown back. He seems pretty happy with his haul. I shaded again on the white, just to the right here, and I used peacock blue. You can always go back with a bit of purple as well. I think I need another bit of white. I don't like the white. Yeah, that looks better. And right here, I think I want him to be whiter. So, we do want it to be looking like it's in shadow, etc., but at the same time, he's a handsome guy. And I think we need him smoother, for one thing, and perhaps a bit whiter. No, I think that looks better. And I put purple in this one here too. So which purple did I use? I would do, I think, Parma Violet. Just the deox is a little bit intense for this stage. Maybe down here you could get away with it. But what the heck, I'm going to stick with this. There, that's better. If you want to shade and you're just not sure about the colors, you think you've already got enough color and you think, oh no, I just can't deal with that anymore, then go back to the Cool Gray 70 and that will calm down your shadows. Oh, just fussing here a bit now. What else do we want to do? Is that it? Might be it. Whiskers, of course. Yeah, maybe a few whiskers. Let's get a sharp espresso. You can put some white ones in too if you want, or maybe ginger root if you find that the white's just a little too much. Might be it. I always like to have.
Want to move him a little to the right?
Oh,
There you go.
I'm getting really intense here right now. I like to have these hairs in front of the eye looking quite fuzzy. So, that would be a place where I would maybe put some white. What else do you think that needs to be done? Might be. I put some white, just because on the spider web. Maybe not every single one, but a few lines. And then, like I say, if you want to, you could go back with your pastels. So now keep an eye on it. If you've got your OMS has drifted over, which I'm in the danger zone here, you might want to do this tomorrow. But you could intensify your orange. And don't make it a like a complete halo or anything like that, but you can intensify your orange and then you can come back maybe and just add a bit more twilight. There. Okay, he's done. You know, other than fussing, right?
Yeah, they're loving them. They're giving you lots of hearts.
Oh, good, 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 good. Thank you. I'm glad you guys came because it was kind of jammed in there a little bit, but he was worth it.
Yeah, he's
It
too
was,
adorable not to do them, that's for sure.
right? Yeah.
Well,
There we
hopefully,
go.
yeah, hopefully everyone who's watching tonight can, if you do Itsy, please post him in the Facebook group and in Lydia's Facebook
Yeah,
page
yeah.
and let us see what you've done because we always marvel over what you guys do. And me especially because I don't get to do anything creative anymore. I'm always the woman behind the computer or in front. So
Appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And next week we have the Rosie the capybara, right? Or is
Is
it
it
two
next
weeks?
week? No, it must be a couple of weeks. It's the
Two-
24th. It's the 24th. And I
Okay,
noticed, you know, she doesn't quite have the same cachet as Itsy, but I just thought she was like it's such a cute little face, and I love to see them on Facebook too. And it's longer fur, same general colors, I guess. And then of course her crown, her
little
tiara.
crown. Yeah, yeah. What were the things that we saw in Italy that were playing on the hill? What were
Oh,
those?
um, marmots.
Marmots. Because are they like similar capybaras and marmots? No, huh?
No, 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 no. One's a mountain, one likes to bob in the streams in the
Ah,
down in Florida. They're down in Florida in those capybara cafes.
oh,
But no,
really?
you usually see them bobbing through a pond or they're water guys.
Oh, cool. Well,
No,
I've not ever witnessed one for real, so but they are adorable. Anything you do is adorable. Everyone agrees. All your critter squares are adorable.
lots
So
of fun, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah. So thank you all for being here tonight. And if you're on the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the replay as well. And if you have any questions after we close the live, you can always ask Lydia by putting an @ sign in front of her name, Lydia Steeves. Hopefully it'll light up and then or be bold so that she knows that there's a question for her to answer. She will go back and look at all of your comments tonight and check in with you. But yeah, anytime you have a question, either go to her page, Lydia Steeves, or that's just Lydia Steeves, right?
for what?
Your Facebook page.
Lydia Steve Decorative Art is the
Okay.
one that you probably should follow.
Yeah, go do
Because that's
that.
more of my art stuff.
Yeah, go follow that. And also too here, you can contact her here too. And definitely go check out lydiasteves.com and the critter squares are all listed under that. She also has some under holiday probably, and you have some under pastels as well, right? Or
Yeah, pastels are not really critter squares,
they're
so
watch, learn, and creates.
yeah, they're just watch, learn, and
Yeah,
creates.
but they're there. And if you have never done any of this and you are
Mhm.
a newbie, tell them what they can go find on your website.
Yeah, I've got a lot of free sort of tutorials on pen pastels, on working with the OMS, colored pencil, pastels, acrylic too, because that's what I used to do so much of. I got tons of acrylics. So yeah, check those out too.
Absolutely.
Lots
And
of free information resources, I guess, that
you
you can check it out.
you offer a lot of that, yeah. And so you can always go if you're afraid to not know how to start, begin,
Yeah,
where to begin, go check that out with her and then come back. And we also have some of the past um, webinars that she's taught for Artful Webinars. We have some of those past ones in the library, the AW
yeah.
library. So artfulwebinars.com, and you can go to the library and see a bunch of classes that she gave us there. And don't be afraid to sign up or purchase any of her pattern packets or videos because she is so beginner friendly
I
that
try to give you lots of information.
yeah.
You got to jump in. Yeah, don't be
And
afraid. Jump in. Jump in.
And even like on the videos, you can stop and start as you need to, if you need to take a little bit more time or rewind and watch her again. And don't be
Yeah.
afraid to email her. Her emails in her patterns. You can email her and ask her, what did she mean by that? But I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but you
Yeah.
never know.
Well, you never know.
No. So
Mm.
thank you everyone for being here tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And we will be seeing you in a couple weeks then.
All right then.
Don't forget to sign up for the convention too. She's teaching in the convention, and that's going to
Oh
open
yeah.
up on
And there's an
Monday
Itsy design in acrylic there. Mm.
with her with its siblings Bitsy and Mitzi. So
Yes.
yes, so go check that out if you can. Again, it opens up to the public on Monday.
Oh,
So
on Monday. Okay.
yeah. So
Sounds good.
take care, everyone, and we'll be seeing you again soon.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay.